Welcome, nerds, to the gaming and tech news for the week. This is a clip that has been taken out of the main show, The Week in Nerddom, which goes up on the main channel, youtube.com/generallynerdy. In gaming and tech, we like to talk about, well, you know, gaming and tech. Trailers, announcements for new tech and games and consoles and everything in between that is gaming and or tech related. So this week in gaming and tech, all of this stuff happened. Now, in gaming and tech, we have another update on the Joseph Staten situation, and this one's pretty interesting. Also, updates from Alan Wake and a new feature over on Amazon Prime that we're going to talk about ever so briefly. All of that and a little bit more, so let's get into the gaming and tech. Gaming and tech, coming out the gate, follow-ups and corrections. Our first follow-up, Joseph Staten has come out and made it known that he is working for Netflix Game. They are throwing a lot of money at this whole Netflix gaming thing because I'm sure Staten doesn't come cheap. But he has come out and said that he is working on a quote-unquote AAA title for the company. Did not say what the title was or what kind of game, X, Y, and Z. But is Joseph Staten working for Netflix? So this could be a pretty decent sign of things to come. So we'll keep tabs on this, crossing our fingers that it's a good thing. Our next follow-up has to do with Alan Wake 2. Remedy Entertainment has confirmed that they are legitimately on track for a release for the end of the year. That being said, still haven't given us an exact release date, still haven't given us any kind of like visual cue that that is a thing that is going to happen. We don't have a trailer, we don't have a teaser, we don't have anything but their word saying, yes, as a matter of fact, we are on track. And then we're going to work on Max Payne after that, continues the statement. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but when the company comes out and says, we've got the thing, but we're not going to show you, oftentimes that's just marketing going, we need to reassure the fans, and who cares what happens when the date comes. It is a bit of a good thing, I guess, that they haven't given a specific date just yet, but still not exactly the comforting statement I think that they wanted it to be. Keeping tabs, moving on. Next is Halo Infinite. We have continuing with the Halo saga. We have another lead in the company 343 gone. At least it would seem that way. Frank O'Connor, franchise director for Halo Infinite, who works at 343 and has worked for the Bungie project since, or for the Halo project since the Bungie days. Wow, that was a tongue twister apparently. Has apparently left according to his LinkedIn profile. He has removed any reference to 343 from his LinkedIn profile, and also Microsoft, which I find very interesting. So no actual confirmation as to why or if this is legit, maybe it's just, you know, the community overreacting to something that doesn't need a reaction at all. Time will only tell, and we will keep tabs. So that is what we have for follow-ups. Let's talk about some regular-ass news here in the gaming section. First up, we have a pretty quick piece about Sega. Sega recently purchased the Rovio Studios, who is the developer behind Angry Birds, as a means to keep their market share. That seems a little weird. No, we're not talking about the Dreamcast, by the way, because that whole Dreamcast thing is all just a bunch of clickbait. They're getting a Hallmark Christmas tree ornament. Big whoop. Anyway. So yeah, Sega has purchased Rovio Studios, which is interesting because, like, this is their first foray into theoretically mobile gaming. So yeah, it's not, though it's not the Angry Birds, the first version of Angry Birds. It's the version of Angry Birds with all the microtransactions. So yeah, that's the one. That's what we got there. Let's move next over to Amazon. So it's been a bit of a thing recently where everybody's very confused as to, you know, we're not that old, but for some reason we've had to turn on subtitles on all of our streaming platforms or on movies in general when you're watching them at home, because audio these days seems to be weird and off, and is so much so that you can't understand the words that are being said. There's a number of like fantastic video essays on the topic. I can't remember the last one that I watched, but it was remarkable. I'll try and find a link and put it in the description. Either way, there is a legitimate reason for an almost legitimate reason for it. In my producer audio tech guy brain, this is kind of an excuse to be lazy, but the general excuse, the general reason that is being given for this phenomenon of recent is because when a movie is produced, when a movie is made, the audio mix is mixed for theaters initially. So that theater mix is mixed for 20 channels, mixed for 50 channels, however many channels they're going to put it in theaters that the theaters can handle. That's how the mix is mixed. So when you're mixing for a bunch of different audio channels, and then you try and compound that down to, say, the physical release, so Blu-ray, DVD, what have you, then that gets mixed, goes from 20 plus channels down to 5 to 7 channels. And from that 5 to 7 channel mix, you then have to mix down for streaming, most times, to a stereo, so 2 channels. I mean, I can understand the dauntingness of such a task, but these people do make a pretty handsome salary to do this job, so I feel like it shouldn't be as poorly done as it generally is. But that is kind of the state of the industry, in that you have to, you know, turn your volume up super loud so that you're bugging the neighbors down the street, or you turn on your subtitles so you can hear what is being said with dialogue. That being said, Amazon has taken note to many fan complaints, and they're now introducing a new feature on Amazon Prime. If you are watching movie or show on Amazon Prime, right now it's very, very limited that they've rolled this out onto, but there are some shows and movies that, mostly Prime originals, that you can now turn on a dialogue enhancement option. The proper name for it is Dialogue Boost. It is an AI-powered feature that will allow you to turn up the dialogue. AI-powered means it's not going to be perfect, because they're not taking the original mix that just has the dialogue track with all of the other things around it and making the dialogue track louder, which would be the fix. That would be how, you know, you should take it. You should take that 20 channel mix it down to your stereo or whatever, and then take the original audio dialogue track and put that on top of the mix, and then you've kind of fixed the problem. But again, that's just me being extra nerdy. So if I would imagine the feature gets used a lot, we'll say, then Amazon very likely will start rolling it out for other things. Though I don't know how much this is going to get used. We will definitely just be keeping tabs on it and keeping you informed as I am informed. So that being said, that's what we got for regular ass news. Let's talk about some gaming and tech suggestions. This suggestion is simply because sometimes you need to take a break from something else. Splitgate is the suggestion this week. Splitgate is the arena shooter that is very much in the same vein as Halo. And when I'm taking a break from Halo, I play Splitgate, or sometimes Apex, but that's a whole different thing. Yeah, Splitgate, hell of a lot of fun. There aren't going to be any new updates for the game, so it is as it is. You can go play it. The servers are still active until the sequel comes out, but the servers are still active until the sequel comes out. So super stoked there. 1048, whatever the name of the production company, they really hit it out of the park with their first outing, and that's your suggestion this week. Once again, this is just the gaming and tech section. It is a shortened piece of the much longer news show that I do over on youtube.com/generallynerdy, which is the main channel. There's a lot more music and comic books and movies and TV shows, etc., that can be found over there on the regular show. Thank you for joining me here, though, nerds. Before we go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.